Fight Time Network.
Welcome back to Fight Time Network. We got UFC 312 in Australia this Saturday. Got headlined by
Woo!
DDP Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland again. Also another title fight. Weili Zhang taking on the undefeated Tatiana Suarez. Starting off the card, Jake Matthews 20-7 versus Francisco Prado 12-2. I'm going with the underdog on this one, Lee.
Haha.
I just truthfully, if he can figure out how to defend a couple takedowns, I think he's gonna. Jake Matthews is a very big counter striker, so I really feel it might play into his game, it might not, but I feel like if he can stuff his takedowns, we'll see. I really think Prado's got it if he can.
Yeah, you know what? I totally understand your argument with that. Prado, Jake Matthews, not a young gun. And but however, Prado is not particularly known for finishes. He's got one in his 3 UFC fights. He's lost to Malarkey, he's lost to Zell Huber, and Jake Matthews did have a fabulous performance against Phil Rowe. I like Jake Matthews in this by decision, but I certainly can see how Prado can get the job done. Jake is sort of rising up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he looked really good against Rowe, but before that, man, especially when he fought Semmelsberger.
Yeah.
When I watched him fight that, before I start back at Jake Matthews again, man, I'm going to have to watch this fight, kind of see how this one plays out. And if he gets this win, I'll maybe rethink. But I don't like the way he lost to Morales. Flowers was just like, all right, we're going to give you somebody after Semmelsberger and see if you can win and even stay in this freaking promotion, my friend, was my thought.
Fair argument.
Well, when he came in so hot against Fiallo.
Yeah.
So, and then remember how the hell he lost to Semmelsberger? Was it by decision?
Yeah, it was by decision, but he got beat up.
He got taken down a lot too.
Yeah.
So, and Semmelsberger's kind of fell off since then also. So it's kind of just played into his last couple fights of why I'm not going to back him to win this fight. Prado's hungry. He comes in swinging, averaging 4.58 strikes landed per minute.
He can do it.
And he might even throw in a takedown against Jake Matthews. You never know either. So
it's going to be a test. Prado can do it. It's going to be a test, though.
He's 22. It's just that Jake Matthews he's at 30, so he's not going to have that veteran step. When you fight someone 33, 34,
yeah,
maybe went 5 rounds before, someone who can go the distance with you. Oh, boy. But I'm going Prado, man. I ended up putting a big fat bet on him. We'll see if the young gun can help me get through it. You got any other?
Your track records of feelings like this, though, are very, very good. So it's hard to dispute you on that.
Lucas Alexander coming out in the first round looking like a badass motherfucker last week, and then in second round,
shit.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna get up, dude. It's only been a minute in the second round, and it's like he got kicked in the fucking head and then blocked it.
I had a 9-leg parlay that the only loss was Lucas Alexander.
No.
Yeah, bro.
So I even jumped on the plus 2,200 parlay. Oh, him and Mike Davis just ruined my evenings.
You know what? Maybe Prado is going to win it back for you.
We'll see. Alrighty. Let's get moving on here. Oh my gosh. Talking about our sorrows of last week. It happens to the best of us. Jimmy Crute. Yeah, this fight's ended up going through. Got canceled. Jimmy Crute 12-4 versus Rodolfo Bellato 12-2. Man, this is a fight I have no freaking clue.
Man, Jimmy Crute's had a really tough break, man. They haven't given him any breaks. They gave him Anthony Smith when Anthony Smith was coming in hot. That
Jamal
leg
Hill.
kick that unfortunately ended Crut's night, where he just had that drop foot and couldn't continue. And then they give him Jamal Hill, and then they give him Mainfield. Alonzo Mainfield. They
Gonna be
have
the
not done
draw.
this
All year
Australian
long.
man any favors whatsoever. And I think Bellato is not on the same level as Jamal Hill or Mainfield, but ultimately, I think Bellato is going to get it done too. He's got a great history. He beat the holy hell out of Pretoria, even though Pretoria just got cut. But
Yeah.
I think he's going to put it on Crute. Like, Crute is definitely going to have to dig somewhere that's not in Australia to definitely find
No, in
this win. He's going to,
Australia. I
yeah.
mean, pretty much you look at any stat, it ain't looking good.
No,
True.
no.
I mean, Bellato's even got 100% takedown defense. And usually
Yeah.
Jimmy Crew, if he his stand-up's all right. I mean, it's nothing crazy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He's pretty much a one-trick pony on the feet, swinging the hands, doesn't really mix in leg kicks at all. It's just
And
like you said, man, he just can't catch a break.
he's been able to find the takedown too against a lot of these guys that
Yeah, but
ultimately when he gets into trouble, but with that 100% takedown defense, it's going to be a tough thing to do, man.
it's
And he's a
Poachie's
young
very
gun.
hot.
He's coming in hot and he's got something to prove.
Very
So
hot.
good luck, Jimmy Crute. We all love you, but this one's going to be a tough one for you.
Yep, I'm definitely taking Bellato on this, probably by decision. Jimmy Crute usually has a really good gas tank, but we shall see, my friend.
And he's tougher than all nails too, man. Even
Yeah.
like even after Smith kicked out his leg, he still wanted to go. His body just didn't let
Oh,
him.
I remember that Smith kicked the, yeah, I do remember that fight. He was all over it. He could barely walk. I do remember that one. That was a while ago though, wasn't it?
I think 2021 about.
Whew. Interesting. If you don't know now, you know this next fight here has an up and coming heavyweight, has a lot of potential. Justin Tafa, 7-4, coming against Taliesin Texera, 7-0, 25-year-old. Some would call him a prodigy upcoming right now. 6'6", 260, my friend. 83-inch reach. Coming off Contender Series knockout. Really beautiful knockout. He looked really great. His speed was great. He throws in kicks. What else can you help from a heavyweight? He's really fast, tall, 83-inch reach. I mean, and Ganyu's gone now, so who the hell's gonna even you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got the power to back it up. I think Justin Top is about to get knocked out bad.
I'm gonna go the other way on this one.
Really?
Yeah,
I just don't
Justin
like
Taffa really needs a win, and
He
time
does.
and time again, and we've seen it so much lately statistically, where we watch these guys come in hot off the Contender Series, 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. Sometimes they get to their debut, and ultimately the guy with experience prevails. The lines are close on this, and I think it's a minor favor of Justin Taffa, and the stats favor Taffa just a bit in takedowns and ultimately striking just a tad too. And I definitely think Taffa will get the edge. You know what? I can kind of see this going to a decision, surprisingly.
Oh, I freaking hope not. We had 5 straight decisions till the knockout last week. God bless. We need some
Yeah,
fights.
heavy. And that's been a high stat too, is heavyweight fights going the decision. We've
It
saw
has
2 of
lately.
those this past weekend, and ultimately we see heavyweights, we see knockout records, and our minds just go, here we go, first round KO. And I mean, don't get me wrong, both these men are capable of them. Both these men touch and go to sleep. But are we going to see what we've seen with, Hamdi and Jamal Pogues again, where, these guys both recognize each other's power. They both realize that one mistake could put their lights out, and they just kind of walk around each other for most of the round.
Yeah. I just don't like. I don't know. His last win was over the lane. Looked really lost a decision to Carl Williams, which Carl Williams, he was overrated. I think he already got
Yeah,
cut,
yeah.
didn't he? I thought.
If he hasn't, I think he'd probably be one fight away because then he also dropped a decision to Yonata Denise.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
right. 100%.
But I mean, even then, to go to be at a heavyweight, to be on the other end of punches coming from Carl Williams or punches coming from Justin Taffa and go to a decision. That was another one where like, it's not getting out of the first round.
Yeah, but that's just my take here, man. Texera, he's got the hype. He's got, yeah. I just think Tafa, the distance is just going to be too much to cover. But we'll see, because he's really good at throwing that overhand, man. So
That
Texera might
reaches
come in
something,
hot. He
yeah.
ducks it and bow. Oh, young man, how old is he? 25. Dude, that'd be crazy, man. He comes up through, gets the hype. Heavyweight division's kind of in a weird spot right now. He could make a quick run, truthfully. So,
Absolutely. It's wide open. They just kicked out the number 9 guy, so that
yeah.
spot's being bumped up. So, if there's any time in the UFC to make a name for yourself in the heavyweight division, you got it held up by the champ who's only going to take, one of the big, a major fight that's probably going to be from the light heavyweight champion of all things before it's
Oh,
from the
God, I
actual
hope not.
interim champ. So now is the time, if you can make a name off yourself against Justin Taffa. But ultimately, I think the experience of Taffa will prevail on this one. I think, we see it week in, week out where the guys come in off the Contender Series end up losing their debut. But to your argument, too, that reach is something to deal with. And with that weight and that extension to be on the end of that is not a place where I'd want to be.
I just hope the hype is real. Like you said, we've been getting a lot of Contender Series boys, and looks like a lot of them padded their records, my friend. Padded their record, got the Contender Series, and learned they just ain't on that level. And there's levels to this shit. It's been
Yeah.
proven. So
Will the Brazilian upset the hometown guy in
that's
Taffa?
true.
Who
Oh
knows?
boy. Well, either way, if you're looking into getting some bets in, you're throwing your own parlay. Texera's only at a minus 135 and Tough at a plus 114. Take a couple favored fighters, maybe throw one of them in there with it, get yourself some better odds. Moving on to the co-main event of UFC 312, Weili Zhang defending her title against the undefeated Tatiana Suarez. This one is super interesting. Suarez coming off a big layoff, if I am not wrong. She didn't fight last year. John DeRoba got canceled. Amanda Lemos got canceled. I think it's an 18-month layoff. And I believe she got in a car wreck or something like that.
Oh, really?
She was injured, I believe,
Hmm.
at one point, plus an 18-month layoff.
That does play a huge factor into the fight. That's why I guess it's a dead even heap.
Yeah, it's a pick'em. And I can't believe. I mean, Suarez has looked really good back in 2023. Submitted Jessica Andrade round 2. Submitted Montana De La Rosa round 2.
She's got a win over Grasso too.
Before that, beat Nina Nunez. Finished Carla Esparza. Submitted Alexa Grasso. Oof. She has the record to back it up. To be favored, I suppose. But how are you going to go against Weili Zhang? Her takedown defense is a little, it's not the greatest, but it's never fully failed her, right?
Against smaller opponents, though, I mean, I think Suarez probably, other than Lemos or maybe even Andrade, is going to be one of the largest ladies in the division that she's faced, and plus with nobody being able to take down Tatiana, it's depending on how that striking is going to go. I
Well, I
mean,
know
it's
Suarez has gotten a little tired
yeah.
in her gas tank. So if Wei Lee could get past round 2, get it into round 3, it could get ugly.
Absolutely. If she's able to, if Weili can get in and get out quick and land those shots and avoid Suarez from getting a hold of her, but ultimately if Suarez can connect with some of those power shots as well as get a hold of her and get her to the ground, ultimately
Yeah.
that gas tank can sort of conserve itself over the course of those 25 minutes. If she's able to, especially if she gets a hold of her and gets her to the ground early, chews up the clock for a couple of rounds. There's a good argument both sides, and I guess that's the odds that reflect. I am putting my money on Suarez. The size, the power, the resume, the injury from outside of the cage ultimately is a little concerning in regards to putting that money down. But I
18
mean,
month layoff, going into a
yeah,
title fight, 5 rounds with one of the best savage women out there that's been there and done it. And the strawweight division is full of stars.
but if we see the Tatiana that was able to get a hold of Andrade's neck and squeeze, and she brings that same fight to Weili, I think we're looking at a new champ.
Another good odds to pick one or the other. Minus 118 Suarez, minus 102 right now, Weili Zhang. Oh, I don't know. But like you said, after you can only get away from Suarez for so long.
Yeah.
I don't see her getting slept. She's really good on her feet too. You can't underestimate Suarez. I mean, she lands 63% of her strikes. Looking good on strikes landed per minute. Even Weili's at 5.66, and we've even seen her just tee off on people.
Yeah.
So, like you said here, though, I think the size is going to matter. Suarez does a really good weight cut. She doesn't look too terrible either. So,
The tail will be in how she utilizes that grappling,
oh
especially in
yeah,
the middle of the fight. Like, I mean, in the first couple of rounds, Weili's going to be able to pop back up. She's going to find a way to her feet. She's going to squirrel out of it, for lack of better terms. However, I mean, round 3, round 4, if we get there, ultimately, if Weili starts piecing, gets a little overextended, he gets taken down. Now she's got probably 3 or 4 minutes that are going to go by before she finds a way up, ultimately, if she does.
true that, my friend. I think
And
I'll
I
hop
mean,
on the pony with Suarez. It's her time. We'll see if we just never seen Weili Zhang have to fight this type of style before. So
and I
it's
think if
hard.
Suarez uses the same game plan that Rose Namajunas did in the second fight with Weili, Suarez has the tools to make that game plan work far better for her than it did for Namajunas.
That's a good fact. It should be Zonia Non last fight, Amanda Lemos. It's gonna be a banger. I'm probably just gonna enjoy this one. Maybe throw Tatiana on a random parlay. We'll see. Either way, they're both good picks. So have at them, y'all. Both of them have reasons of why they will win this fight. So it all matters what it may even go the distance. I don't think it's going to go the distance, but we shall see. Moving on to the main event of UFC 312. A far-fetched needed rematch between DDP 22-2 defending his title against Sean Strickland 29-6. That dude's just banging out. They both have good high records, man. Tell you what, you don't see records like this much anymore. I'm gonna tell you straight up, if Strickland can defend a couple takedowns, he's got this, bud.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we're talking about grappling, I mean, the more decorated grappler, the more competitive, experienced grappler ultimately is Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland does have a wrestling pedigree to him that we never, ever, ever see. But ultimately, the training footage and his credentials, before the UFC, or even if you watch him on some of the past submission undergrounds that Chael Sonnen used to put on, the guy can grapple. He
Yeah.
just doesn't like to.
I mean, there's a
And
huge case that Strickland even won the first fight, man. It was so close. And if it wasn't for like one or two takedowns, I think he actually took him down like 6 fucking times
yeah.
somehow.
I had the pleasure of being in the crowd live for Sean Strickland and DDP the first time around last January. And anytime live at a UFC fight, I never want to waste my time, looking up at the screen. I want my eyes locked in the cage, even if I'm up in the 300 bowl. And so on that fight, I mean, I could actually post this up to the page later in the week, but I was just watching DDP's head go back. I'm like, okay, Strickland's got this. I have my phone out. I'm like, here we go. I can't wait to post Strickland up the win. And then they announce DDP, and then you just hear me go, ah, damn it. Just put it away. But no, I certainly, from where I was sitting, it looked like Strickland won that first fight. He's better in the grappling. He's going to find a way to defend those takedowns. I don't think, DDP is going to get him taken down. Very rarely do we see Strickland not defensively sound.
Right.
And ultimately, man, you saw DDP's face get, like, when your eye is that swollen from a jab. I mean,
I'm taking Strickland on this one, though. I'm pretty sure I put about $120 on Strickland. So I need that fight, Sean. I need one more out of you, boy. Get that title back.
Absolutely. And he's been waiting for this. It's not like he's filled up his card. He fought Paulo Costa in between.
Beat the hell out of him.
Looked absolutely dominant against a massive man that Paulo Costa is, and just, dog walk Costa. And ultimately, it's going to be a close matchup. There's good argument for DDP. And I mean, most of the argument for DDP is, I don't know how he's going to do it. He just always does.
Right, dude.
Yeah.
He has a wicked style.
Yeah. But it's not particularly a surprise anymore. I mean, in his first 8 fights of the first couple of fights you saw with DDP, where he's fighting guys like Trayvon Giles, like, nobody really knew who he was. Nobody really knew what to expect from him. He would get backed up. It would look like he's hurt when he's not really. That's just the way he does. He would look like he's gassed. That's just the way he breathes. He puts his head completely offline while that right hand comes dead up the center. And I think a lot of his games out there, and Sean Strickland's got one of the best coaches in the he's got Eric Nixick, and then he's also got Alex Pereira in his corner for this fight. So I mean, he's got literally the best guys in the world figuring this out for him, while he's just trying to get in there and jab his face off, essentially, like we see Strickland do.
For all you right now, first fight went down split decision, 5 rounds. Could have literally went either way. Odds right now for Strickland's plus 170. So if you think you're hype on that train, get it while it's hot. I feel like it's going to end up probably about plus 130, 40 maybe. I think it'll be a little closer by the time we get to Saturday.
And I mean, we haven't, we're basing the Izzy fight in between them since they last met up. I think DDP's faced Izzy, and Sean Strickland's faced Paulo Costa, and Sean Strickland looked far more on point with Paulo Costa, ultimately, than he did. And even when you compare DDP versus Izzy to Sean Strickland versus Izzy, whether Izzy was having an off night, which is a hard argument to make after we've seen Imavov this past weekend with Izzy.
Yeah.
So whether Sean Strickland was on the most point that he ever was when he faced Izzy, or Izzy was having an odd night, he didn't really lose any rounds to Izzy, whereas, DDP was down a couple before he found that finish.
Facts, man. That's facts. Alrighty. Got anything else?
It's going to be a wild week. And I guess one other fight on the card is Slava Claus and Tom Nolan. That'll be one to watch there right before the main event starts. That'll be fireworks.
Fireworks. Tom Nolan, hometown boy, coming in as the underdog. We'll see.
Watch that knee.
Watch that knee. All right, perfect. That is y'all's breakdown for UFC 312 this Saturday in Australia. See y'all next time.
Woo!
Yeah. Fight Time Network.